Cause Brian brought us.
Right.
What I told y'all about them national people. Y'all should have learned y'all lesson about them national people. Brian brought us. We sitting here in lovely Oxnard, because that's what Jerry calls it. Oxnard, California. I'm up here in the Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel section. They getting their props today. Brian brought us down there on the tennis courts. Man, listen, this made for a very somber episode, didn't it, Brian brought us? Boy, y'all should have seen the old episode. I might put it out as a blooper one day, boy. We was sad. I was about to cry on Nick Harris's shoulder. He's right here joining the scene doing nothing else. He about to start putting some content out on YouTube. Y'all be sure to follow and check him out. But boy, ladies and gentlemen, Brian got two sources, and one of his sources said, "Hey, we got lucky." One of his quote, he said, "Hey, we got lucky. We dodged a daggone bullet. We dodged the bullet with both of our damn starting tackles, didn't we, Brian Brothers?"
Yeah, we sure did.
So, shouts out to Ian Rappaport. Maybe he was a little quick on his draw there, but you know, per multiple sources at this point, but I trust Brian Broadus' phone the most. But if y'all go over there and check out my Twitter, dropped it up there. It says, per source on Tyler Guyton injury, he has a bone fracture, no surgery. It will heal. ACL is intact 4 to 6 weeks. Brian, that changes everything, because we was up here talking about what the hell we going to do about Awesome Riches. Nick Harris was like, all right, if you move Tyler Smith and you move TJ Bass and you move we was ready to move 3 people to make this thing work. But Brian, what I think this showed you, what this showed you is like this unanimous, first of all, feeling bad for Tyler Guyton, but he's kind of important to this equation, Brian brought us, and you know, he was earning our trust in this whole thing. So when he kind of goes down, we're like, oh man, what do we do now about the left tackle situation? Of course, you know, praying for him a quick and speedy recovery, but we're like, damn, boy, we feel like we was getting solid at left tackle, and then left tackle became a question mark out of nowhere. So, Brian, I'm glad your phone had the proper information, Brian Bars. Please go ahead.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's working for an organization for 14 years, you know, and you develop some really good friendships and sources and stuff. And they were very adamant when I initially reached out to him that hey, I said, Rappaport's reporting that it looks like an ACL, and both guys came back at me and says, nothing's confirmed yet. And I said, okay. And this is where we started to have the hope. And you were thinking that maybe, well, they haven't just got the MRI results yet. And so once they got him, then I got a text. It was probably one of the best texts I've received in a long time. And, you know, when you say that has the bone fracture and no surgery and it will heal and the ACL is intact 4 to 6 weeks, I was feeling pretty good. And I know that made you very happy.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back real quick, if I could, with you. Did you like my Tyron Smith idea? If he was out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this also. Nick Harris, can I also bother you as well? You ain't got to get on mic. I just want to run something that Brian ran past us. Brian was like, would you call Tyron Smith right now? Nick Harris is giggling, smiling. He just kind of sat back in his chair real quick. And I was like, Brian, that's a splendid idea that only a scout would come up with on the fly. You know, Tyron Smith retired a Cowboy technically, and he only been out for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Jets would have his rights. Hey, Jets, be a real one, man. Take this sixth.
The Jets still hold his right. I thought
even if he retires as a Dallas Cowboy, the Jets still kind of had his rights.
I felt like that if he retired as a Cowboy, he
contract. Yeah, so it kind of takes both sides to scratch each other back a little bit. But look, but that wasn't a bad idea, Brian. And I'm sure the Jets wouldn't care. The Jets will hold you down on that one. That would have been not that you said it, Brian.
We'll swap picks. Anyway. We'll swap picks. We'll swap picks.
We'll swap sevens. Brian, I wasn't even ready to talk practice with you, man. I was just ready to hang this up and just get on up out of here. But I was so hurt for Tyler. I was so hurt.
Explain that. Explain that, because it was very the first show we did. You were very emotional about it, and I thought it was.
Because Brian, I tell you why.
Yeah,
I got a chance to look him in the eye. You know what I'm saying?
You did.
And
you absolutely did.
Are very much so media trained, and sometimes they'll tell you what you want to hear. Players have gotten real good at telling you what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I won't name some of the other players that haven't made leaps that we talked about on the last show. We'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. But I saw Tyler, not even in this setting, a couple of months ago when he first did that like locker room availability that he did over there, and he was just basically talking about the process and where his mindset was. That dude was in a totally different place. And when they was asking him, he was like, "Hey, bro, I don't want to be like the reason that I don't want to let people down. I don't want to be the reason why this thing doesn't work."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he took it seriously. Then me talking to him and me going back and talking to Duke. Anybody that puts hard work into anything and can take some accountability, Brian, this is what really sold me on the kid, right? I don't know who it was in the media or whatever, because I wasn't media Voch back then. I'm definitely media Voch now, but I wasn't media Voch back then. Somebody tried to give him a way out. Somebody was like, "Tyler, do you think that your bad play came from you switching from right tackle in college to playing left tackle in the league?" And they gave him a way out. Guyton said, "Nah, man, I just wasn't good enough. I just wasn't good enough."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm on that dude's team now. I'm on that dude's
Good
team
for you
now."
asking him that question. Good for you asking him that question, man.
Hey, man,
Good
you
for
know what time it is. You know what time it is. But just me tapping in with him, just knowing him a little bit and looking him in his eyes and telling him, "Hey, man, I've seen the work that you're putting in. I see what you're doing. I see what you did on pad day. I'm rooting for you." And
But
me
you
thinking,
were critical of him.
I
Yeah,
was
but you
very
were critical of him.
Brian. I was critical of Tyler Guyton because I'm not here for I was that's hard. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
You want to say that? Cool. There's optimism. I can say that. There's optimism that he'll be ready for the season opener. We just got a bunch of people up here just asking questions and just moving around. That there's optimism that he'll be ready. In which you were just asking why did I feel for the kid? Because if you put so much work into the craft, I want you to prove people wrong. I want you to be able to live out this, I want that payoff for you. And the first pad day was the first payoff. Pad day ain't a regular season game, but that was the payoff. Yeah. And he was, Brian, first day in pads, second day in pads, y'all can check my Twitter. He's looking totally different than the guy that he was last year. You understand?
Totally different, yeah.
So now if he would have if he used to go out there and let's say he put hands on Nolan Smith week 1. Imagine how that is for him. Not for me as a Cowboy fan, because me as a Cowboy fan, I'm going to be thrilled and I'm going to be on the internet talking crazy. But imagine how dope that is for him to be written off, and for him to be doubted, for him to be down, for him to get up, for him to put the work in, and then have a good game week 1 and it all pays off. That's why I was hurt for the kid, because I wanted him to have his payoff, Brian.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Try to be quick, so it's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I want to say this though. I know I spent this a good part of this training camp.
Talk about this, please. Go ahead.
I spent a good part of this training camp with you here doing these shows and stuff.
Yes, sir.
I really do appreciate what you did with the offensive line.
Thank you, sir.
Because I think there were a lot of questions. You said, "Listen, I'm taking this upon myself." Former offensive lineman, former offensive line coach. You went up there and said, "Hey, I'm going to take a look at this group and kind of figure it out." And I think there were a lot of questions there. I think and I think that you've helped us along the way with a lot of I say a lot of these answers, but to me, the story of a Tyler Guyton getting better that way, and and really you couldn't have had better news. Yeah, it sucks the guy got hurt. He's going to miss some practices and stuff. But man, we were absolutely thinking the worst. But I just want to say the coverage that you did while you were here at camp about the offensive line made us all smarter. It really did make us all smarter. And, and the videos you posted, must watch, had to see those. Always kind of told a little bit of the story. So I'm glad for Cowboy Nation that their left tackle is going to be okay and it's not lost for the season. I think that's a big thing. But thank you for all you did of covering those guys while you were here.
Humbly, respectfully, Brian, I appreciate you saying that, and I think it's important that I was out here doing that, because there's actually a corner of the internet that don't know no better that think Tyler Guyton is still doing some of the same shit he was doing last year. Like some people on the internet,
right. I agree. I agree.
I've seen it. So now I get to correct people and not just be like, "Hey, well, I saw something different." Like there's Drake said is video proof. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, shouts out to all those people that was doing that thing, but this is a totally different show for us now, but we don't have to get into it. Yeah. If anything, Brian, I still think the Cowboys are over the next practices. I think they're going to work out their options as far as depth goes.
Yeah.
Even if they're optimistic for the season opener, they still have to prepare as if
Right.
somebody else may need to go out there and line up. You know what I'm saying? So Hakeem
Yeah.
Adeniji, we're probably still gonna be looking for him to get some left tackle work in. I'm really concerned. I know they like Austin Richards. You like Austin. I like Austin Richards, right?
I
But
do. I
it
do like
seems
Austin
it
Richards,
seems
but
like Nathan
Adeniji,
Thomas was
yeah.
getting the second team reps too, huh, Brian? Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I know you've spent a lot of time, as I said, on that. I just kind of felt like that maybe Austin Richards was going to compete. I thought he was going to compete, and they're still using him on the extra tight end,
He's playing
extra
tight end, yeah.
tackle kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I thought he was going to come in and compete, with, and we'll see now that Steele's back, Adeniji, I'll be interested on practice on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
If you and I do our show Wednesday night or whenever we do our show, that we talk about is who is the left tackle.
Sure.
And if it's Adeniji over there, that just shows you how much they think of him,
Mm-hmm.
because that would put him ahead of Awesome Richards, who's
Austin
been
Richards, yeah.
here a number of years, and then Thomas, who has only been here a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So
Think about this, Brian.
that's
Think about when Terrence Steele went down. It was quickly Adeniji. It wasn't like Adeniji, but
it
we're
was
gonna
quickly.
rotate
It
all
was
summer. We're gonna
yeah,
rotate a Johnny Cornelius. It was all right, Adeniji. You're the guy
yeah,
out there now, and he
yeah.
was out there with Book and Rob Jones. So I think if anything, if anything, he would be the swing guy to go play left tackle too in this particular situation, assuming Terrence Steele is good to go at right tackle. But we'll have to cross that bridge whenever we get there. We got a ton of practice to figure that out. A couple
Yeah.
preseason games, but boy, it seems like we've dodged a couple bullets with Terrence Steele a couple days ago, and with damn Tyler Guyton today.
Well, can you talk about today's practice a little bit, if you would, about Terrence Steele and what you saw him coming back?
Okay, so as far as did my camera just go off? Okay, cool. Can you see me, Brian?
I think you're still. I could see you, but I hear you better. Oh, your camera went off, but can I hear you? Are you here?
Okay.
Can I hear you?
Can you hear
Can
me?
I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Wait, I can hear you. I can hear you, but I can't see. I can hear you, but I can't see you. How about that?
Okay. So I'll just keep on talking, and I'll get this camera figured out.
Yeah.
The whole Terrence Steele thing, it was layered. Like it all happened in layers. Like I saw him out there warming up and stretching and moving around, and I was like, okay, cool. Terrence Steele is stretching and moving around, and then Terrence Steele went out there and ran some individual drills, right? Like he was out there, kind of thumping a little bit. He was reaching backside threes and stuff like that. Like he was kind of getting involved on that side of the game. But then ultimately, when it came time for the team drills, Terrence Steele did not take part in those. So what that sounds like to me is that the Cowboys just want to be safe with Terrence Steele, but like it seems like they like this. Like I said, they got lucky with that one. They dodged the bullet with that one. So shouts out to Terrence Steele there. He's probably going to be good to go in the long run, even if they do continue to take it easy on him these next couple of days here at camp.
Sounds good, man. I knew you had the evaluation of all those guys, so
Okay.
kudos to you for that.
Okay, so my computer telling me that my camera's crapping out, but you can still hear me, right, Brian?
I could absolutely hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Brian, I hear you just fine. We're gonna keep on rocking just like this because that's what a podcaster would do. That's what a real content creator would do. You hear me, Brian? We're not about to make 3 different podcasts. You hear me?
I hear you, man.
Brian,
I hear you.
Let me say this. Couple notes on practice. This thing kind of took up all the talking points, so to speak. But it was something I noticed when I was watching practice there with Nick Harris from the Fort Worth Star Telegram. Y'all go check him out. It seems like they were working on a lot of checks and discussion today on offense. Like it seems like they purposely put themselves in plays to where they had to get to the line. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, maybe some silent count stuff, and then maybe call an audible off the silent count. It seemed like they did that a bunch
Yeah.
on purpose today. Like not like normally they'll do their get to the line of scrimmage thing and then just kind of run the play. It seemed like they purposefully tried to get the hard count out and then adjust. Brian, did you kind of see that today a little bit?
Yeah, I was actually doing radio stuff, so we had 2 live mics. So I had on listening to, as I was out there watching practice, I was team period. So I didn't hear the checks. I was standing in the end zone, kind of watching, really the players. But your explanation of it makes a lot of sense. Remember that Brian Schottenheimer talked about how they're going to try and adjust snap counts,
Sure did.
and that sometimes we'll hear the "here we go," and then maybe you don't hear the "here we go." But you've brought it up too, as we've noticed this team. Sometimes they run a play and then they get back up to the line and run another play.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to vary how the tempo of how they're running their offense.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, Brian Schottenheimer talked about that. He is going to try and vary snap counts in order to help his offense be able to have some success. So that just makes perfect sense to me with what you brought up.
I want to continue to emphasize too, Brian. They are taking this huddle very seriously. You have
They
to
are.
you have to be on your game. You got to line up in the right spot. Phil Moffitt got a bit of a fuss in that earlier, Brian Bros, because I think he was just kind of lining up in the wrong spot. He was just unclear on what it was that he was supposed to be doing, and Brian Schottenheimer made it a point that this team was like 32nd in penalty yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And in order to fix a lot of that, you can't just have miscellaneous procedure problems, right? And
Right.
if you're going to be a team that's going to embrace shifts and motions and things like that, you got to line up in the right spot. So when we were talking about Jadon Blue
Yeah.
earlier, that's also a challenge for Phil Moffitt, who's a young guy. You got to come in and you got to learn this stuff on the fly, man. You got to be good to go in terms of where you lining up at, because we ain't got time for your procedure penalties.
Yeah, no, that's and that's something Mike McCarthy and yeah, I kind of taking your cue. I'm here kicking Mike McCarthy, but one of those things Mike McCarthy always talked about was like the penalties and turnovers, and the penalty part of it never got better. I'm sure there's somebody that's listening right now. It's like, well, one year but it just always seemed like it was something that was kind of plaguing this team. So hats off if they're trying right now to kind of correct those things. Hey, Voch, if I could point somebody out that I thought had a really, really good practice today,
Hell yeah.
and it's Turpin.
Mm.
I just from the standpoint of all the things, if they're asking Hunter Lipke to do a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
they're asking Turpin to do a lot of things. And we're starting to see Turpin like catch the ball down the field.
Yeah.
More more of that where yeah, this is you. We're working your sources. But yeah, the Turpin's ability to line up in the backfield, line up in a slot, play wide receiver, and catching the ball down the field.
Sure.
He's not the biggest guy, but he's made some contested catches. I thought he had a really, really good day today,
Mm-hmm.
catching the football and of all the things that they were asking him to do.
Yeah.
I was impressed just in that period where I was on the radio with our two live mics,
Mm-hmm.
just watching him run routes and them get him the football, because you don't think he's a big target down the field, because he's not, but his ability to make contested catches, adjusting catches, I think was on a little bit on display today.
So Brian, some people don't like position flex, but I think that's different than
Yeah.
versatility. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think
Right.
versatility, like position flex, is the ability to play like two positions or being able to move in and out of that. I think versatility is specifically like matchup based or like mismatch based. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when
Yeah.
Coach
Yeah.
Schottenheimer was talking about Hunter Lipke today, right, in the press conference, he was like, "Oh yeah, Hunter
Mhm.
looks up to Mike Allstott, but they're two totally different players." We've seen how they
Yeah.
use Hunter Lipke in multiple different ways, Brian Bruss. How he is not just he lines up in fullback and he lines up at tight end. He's moving there
Right.
for a desired result. You know what I'm saying? I can say the
Right.
same
Right.
thing about Turpin in a way that, yeah, Turpin is one of your most explosive, bursty, fast
No
running,
question. Yeah.
twitchy
Yeah.
players. But imagine you putting him at running back for you to then motion him at receiver so that he can
Yeah.
then mismatch on some linebacker out in open space. I think that's where the versatility comes into play, Brian. So,
Yeah.
to your point, and look, this goes back to Schottenheimer dirty macking, right?
Mhm.
If you're Mike McCarthy and you're constantly saying, "Oh yeah, we got to find a way to get Turpin going. We got to find a way to get Turpin going." You can only find a way me so much before we say, "All
Right.
right, but what's our final result here?" it seems like
Yeah.
Schottenheimer, when he says, "Hey, we're going to get Turpin going," it's back to back to back to back to back practices that we've seen Turpin line up
Exactly.
at wide receiver,
Exactly.
line
Yep.
up at running back,
Yep.
line up as the jet sweep guy, line up as the yo-yo motion guy that's pulling coverage. Like they're doing a lot with him. So I believe
Yep.
Schottenheimer in that regard.
And I think that there's things that Schottenheimer said in June that actually have been carried into July. And
Yeah.
so that part, at least the 6 practices, there's a lot of things I think he's off to a really good start of
Mhm.
things he wanted to try and do. And at least we're seeing those come to fruition through some of these practices.
Yeah. Brian, I was talking to some of my media beat writer friends around here a little bit. Can I just say something new that I think that they've that something that they think
Go ahead.
that Tyler Smith gets paid real soon.
Yeah, Joe Panos,
Okay.
the former, Joe Panos, who is his agent, former Wisconsin offensive lineman. He was when I was at the Packers. Joe was playing with Wisconsin, and then I think he went to the Buffalo Bills and all that. Then he became an agent, and Joe Panos is the agent for Tyler Smith. And there's some belief,
Right.
as you've mentioned, your sources are absolutely right
Okay.
that they are working on a Tyler Smith extension as we speak. So hopefully in the coming days, Joe Panos is usually a show up and get stuff done guy.
Yeah.
With him being here, that was a pretty good sign, I would say.
Those same people feel like Duron Bland might be getting his money real soon as well, Brian Bros. What does that mean
How
to you?
about that? How about that, man? They're trying.
Yeah.
All it takes is one, and everybody's kind of now worried
Sure.
that maybe that here's Micah Parsons looking at a $40 million deal potentially, and you want to get in there before you get that money while you can.
Yeah.
To make sure that Ferguson was comfortable with his situation. If Smith's comfortable with his situation, even better, and
Yeah.
we can go from there for sure.
Well, Brian, during practice they play trap music for stepping on ops and
Yeah,
spinning back on the block and all that kind of stuff. But now we're running some country music on the old
country
walkthroughs
music.
at the end of the day. Brian, I think we've done a pretty good job here, partner. It's been fantastic working here with you at camp.
Yeah,
Me and you have already daydreamed about how we're going to do it much better next year. Can't
yep.
wait to do that with you. I'm going to head on back to the DFW. You got a couple more days. I don't know why I started talking like this when the damn country music came on. I'm going to head on back to the DFW, and you're going to
Yeah,
be a couple days after me. But this was a fantastic
yep.
camp. It was really great to working with you. It was a dream come true. And
Yeah.
Crown Global Media got a lot of work to do, but we own it.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, and thank you again, partner. Too, I really do appreciate you taking the time and educating us all. Can't wait to get back on the airwaves with you here real soon. Like I say, I'll be back. I'll be back on Saturday. I know you'll be back tomorrow. Aisha Morrison's coming out here,
Hey,
so it'd be kind of nice to maybe when you and I get back together and start doing this again, we can get old Two Eye on there, and she can walk us through some of the things that she's seeing as well. Should be a lot of fun.
sounds good, Brian. Y'all follow me at VOCHLOMBARDI. Tyler Guyton is not out for the year, so feel free to go your ass over there and take a look at all them plays I got on my
Yeah.
damn Twitter. We need y'all to get back hype for Tyler Guyton. And that's
Okay.
BRYN Broadus, all right? Love y'all to pieces. We'll catch y'all next time, all right? Crown.